Hello everybody, it's Christy from Christy's Beautiful Life and welcome back to Off the Board. So close to being done for the month. Crystal, I've loved watching all of your videos, so thank you for providing all this entertainment for all of us and letting us join in with you. Today is a very kind of like 8-for-1 type of layout. So let's start with the sketch and basically scrapbook your joy. So I am doing, Scrapbook Your Joy does challenges. She does like a sketch challenge, a manufacturer challenge, or a product challenge, and a theme challenge. So I'm doing all three of them in one layout. So the sketch you can see there, I picked that sketch. I'm using pink paisley. It could be any pink paisley. So I'm going to go ahead and use some pink paisley. I kind of use a bit of a mix there. Summer Lights and a little bit of Paige Evans and just kind of some random stuff. And then you also had to use the letter P for your theme. So mine is the color purple, or the fact that Nora painted on her face. And I'll get to that in a minute. So there's that one. This is also for the I did load, which was layout a day, and first on Scrap Happy. And this one is for this day 2, which was for the color orange. And so I went ahead and used it for that theme as well. And not that I was using orange, I used the story prompt to it, but I don't want to give it away because it's paid content. So you don't tend to see that. Although there is orange in this layout because there's tigers in it. And finally, well, this is also for Off the Board, obviously, because I just said it was for Off the Board. So there's that as well. But Melissa and I posted this photo of Nora, and I'll get to it in a minute. But I posted this photo of Nora, and Melissa messaged me and was like, oh my gosh, that's so funny. I can't remember if it was Brielle. One of her little ones painted on the wall, and she hadn't told the story yet. So I'm like, perfect, we both can do the story. So together, we are both telling a story about our children doing funny little things. And the funny little thing that my child did was she had gotten a hold of her markers. Thankfully, they're all washable. They're just washable markers. So it's all good. This all came off. No big deal. Nothing got damaged. But she came out of the bedroom and was like, Mommy, look, I'm a purple tiger. And she had paint all over. She had drawn on her face, she had drawn on her arms, she had drawn on her legs, and she did eat stripes. Like, you can literally see the stripes on her. So funny. So before she got washed up, I of course had to take a few photos, and I had her I asked for her to show me that she was a tiger. So she did her tiger pose, which is what one of the photos are. And it's just, I think it's hilarious, and I love them. So I'm super excited to document this, and how quickly, because this just happened. So it's nice to be able to document stories like that don't need any time for you to do the journaling or to sit on them or anything, and just to be able to scrap it right away. So loving that I'm getting this done so quickly. And I am just going to go ahead and follow this sketch pretty darn closely. You can see that I used a cut file for the strip over on the right hand side there. And I backed just a few pieces here and there with the cut file. I used, like I said, a little bit of Paige Evans, and then the colors that you can see that I'm using for the layering pieces over on the left side, I use a little tiny bit of each one of those to cover up a couple more squares within that cut file. So super happy to use this cut file. It was something I had used earlier, I want to say it was earlier this month, maybe very, very late last month, where I used a bit of it for one of the layouts I did to showcase a sketch from Sarah Scrap's Chamel sketches. And I can't, was it Refreshed? I'm not exactly sure what it's called, but she takes a Chamel sketch and she makes it a little bit more up to date with today's style. And I was just, I love that sketch and I can use it. And so I used a certain cut file for that. And this was the leftover piece that I had. So I'm super happy to have this used up too, because it's nice not to have something laying around and getting it used up. Of course, that's part of a spending freeze, is using things up as much as you possibly can. You will notice that my spending freeze has kind of dipped a little bit. You'll notice that in a few videos if you watched any of my hauls or whatnot. However, it's okay. We've got plans for September, so just wait and see. It's all good. And technically, I had been on a year because I'd stopped spending way before September. So I made my year cut. I'm very, very happy with that. And the things that I did purchase, you'll know in the videos as to why I did them. So whole nother story there. I'm going off in tangents today. And so, yes, I am doing all of this. I backed it. I did a little border. I wanted there to be a nice little grounding for it. So I felt like a border would be in place. And then gonna go ahead, and I love how this looks. It pops this cut file off the layout, and I love that because this is supposed to be a fun and vibrant and just, I can't think of any other word than fun. So highlighting it and by tracing it with a black pen really helped do that. And I go in and I trace every single little box in there. And I really, really love the way it turned out. You can see I got the tiger in there because, of course, that's what this is about. So a fantastic way to use up the tigers that I have in my stash. And yes, I'm using a few little bits and pieces from my haul from Scrapbook Your Joy, just a couple pieces here and there. For example, these alphas, and I had enough of to spell the word tiger. I had them all in this pinky, it's kind of purple, not really, but this pinky color. So go ahead and use that to spell tiger. I do have to kind of fix a B into an R. Super whatever. How often do I use a B? Not very often, especially in pink, because the only B I have in my family is Barrett. He doesn't want me to use a pink letter for his name, so that's an easy R fix. And then I use it's technically blue, to be honest with you. It's blue, but it looks next to the pink, it looks purple, so I'm going with it to spell out the word purple. And that's going to be my title. I don't do the whole thing. In my journaling, I'll write the little story about how she came out and said, "Mommy, look, I'm a purple tiger." But I didn't need to use that whole phrase to work in with my title. So I'm not going to go ahead and just keep it nice and simple. And I also go into my embellishments from my haul and the new stuff I get and use just a couple things because I know that one of the sticker sheets, and I think it's the Maggie Holmes one, has a tiger in it. And so I had to definitely grab that and get that used up as well. So if you're documenting a tiger, you got to use it, right? Like if you got a reason to use these little embellishments that you're like, how am I ever going to do this? I don't go to the zoo that often. You take advantage. And so I definitely took advantage. And I just, you know what? It's just one of those things where I just played. I'm using stash, like some pretty old stash here. Like Summer Lights is quite old. And then also, of course, that background paper with the chevron. I don't even know what that's from, but I've had it for quite a while and I really liked it. It's got a summer vibe, a very vibrant vibe to it. So this kind of fun and upbeat layout really worked with that. I love the bright, just the bright vibe this whole layout gives off. It's exactly what I wanted for this. The photos, she looks so grown up and so sweet in these photos. And so definitely I have a filter on it that also plays off of the colors that I'm choosing to use. And then I do try to make sure, because I am doing the load prompt, that the floral I used had the orange in it versus the blue I wanted to use, because I am trying to play off the prompt a little bit by adding some orange. So the tiger is orange and the floral is orange. So love that. I also liked how in the sketch, going back to the sketch here, there was that little, in the upper right-hand side, there's that little, you can tell it's supposed to be a banner or some bit of embellishment up there. So I do go ahead and add one, and it just says one of a kind, because that is definitely what she is, and a little tag. And I think that's about it for embellishing. I don't do a lot. It doesn't need a ton because of all the different pieces that are there, minus the other tigers, like I said, that do end up getting added. So the other thing I'm going to do to wrap up this layout, and it really takes this layout from, oh, this is cute and it works, and you absolutely could leave it like this. If you are more of a simpler scrapbooker, that's your style, then leaving it like this would be absolutely fine. It's adorable just the way it is. However, I have been in this kind of kick to kind of up my scrapbooking a little bit and my layouts a little bit. And that big circle that you can see in the sketch, for me, called for stitching. So I'm going to go ahead and stitch. And I stitch in purple, and I don't just do it in that one spot. I do it in 3 spots because I love a visual triangle. And so I had to get a visual triangle placed in there. And in order to do that, I had to stitch in 3 spots. So you will see in my finished layout, all 3 spots that I stitch in. Please, please, please go check out Melissa's layout for today. I cannot wait to see what she did with the photo of her. She showed me the photo. It's It's such a fun photo. So I cannot wait to see how she scrapbooked it today. And thank you, Melissa, for joining me today with this fun little painting prompt of our children doing silly things. Check out everyone for Off the Board, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Bye.